ESPN 102.7 FM and 104 The Score. Brought to you by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating and Cooling and Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center. With your host, Brian Webb. Also starring John Kirby and Sergeant J.D. Williams from Mohawk Outdoors. Josh Honeycutt from Realtree Outdoors. Also made possible by Swagger Bipods, Gary Force Paint and Body Shop, J&K Used Cars on the Bypass. Segments in part by Big & J Long Range Attractants, our national sponsor, and Renegade Marine, also featuring Realtree's Michael Pendley Small Game Recipes from Realtree Outdoors, Timber 2 Table Wild Game Recipes, sponsored by Pabst Beef Jerky, fueling your outdoor lifestyle, and all phone interviews via the Line X of Bowling Green hotline. Get ready for all things outdoors. Here's your host, Brian Webb.
I used to spend my nights out in a bar room. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me from reaching.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. Andy says we can't be doing that. Maybe that'll change in the future, but we can be doing Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, and we've been doing it since this news broke, and it's been a joy. John Kirby in the studio with me. We got Casey Warner on the board. Great show tonight. We're getting ready to hook up with Pendley, Michael Pendley, timbered a table. He's got to look like a great-looking turkey hoagie. He was calling it a po' boy. It reminds me of hoagies and grinders, but can't wait to hook up with him there on the Line X hotline here in just a minute. Brought to you by Pabst Beef Jerky, the best beef jerky on the market. You can get it in stores right now in Bowling Green. They're essential, and beef jerky is essential for our way of living because it fuels our outdoor lifestyle. Pabst Beef Jerky, fueling your outdoor lifestyle. So real quick, we'll tease the show before we get Pendley in. John, we got Anthony Verga, Realtree pro staffer, man. Talked to him today. Really, really nice guy. Can't wait to hook up with him.
Yeah, he'll be a great guest. He's a big-time turkey hunter. I think that's kind of what he focuses on, so that's pertinent as of right now. It's turkey season here in South Central Kentucky. Looking forward to talking to Anthony. Yeah,
same here. He's also, you can check him out on TV. He's on the Sportsman Channel, all things hunting, and he's supported by also Simon Sporting Goods there. New York boy, New Jersey boy. Looking forward to hooking up with him. But before we do, and we're going to have a little treat tonight. We got John Newton on. We're going to find out at Renegade what's going on during our fishing segment, how they're doing business. And then also, another sponsor tonight we're going to spotlight like we did the last couple of weeks. We got Johnny Johns coming in from J&K Used Cars. I'm looking forward to talking to him on the Line X hotline.
Yeah, me too. I haven't spoken to Johnny in some years now. Don't get out to Indian Hills and play golf as much as I used to, so I don't get to see him as much. Great guy. Man, they've got an awesome car dealership there right on the corner on the bypass there. They got everything you could need, and they're great people to deal with.
And this guy can put anything on a piece of bread or a plate you can ask for. Pendley, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. We're just chilling. I know Johnny's probably hunting this weekend. I know the boys did good. Have you knocked one down yet?
Turkeys are kicking our butt.
Yeah, they've been kind of tricky down here too, Michael. I hadn't had a chance to hunt myself much. Just once. I've been doing a little filming, and I've had some gout issues that have kind of had me down. How the turkeys been responding up there?
Not at all.
Yeah.
We've been out every day since season came in. Opening morning, Michaela and I were set up. We had a gobbler come in mid-morning, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, and he had some hens with him, and he wanted to come the rest of the way in, but the hens didn't, and they went the other way, and he went with them 60 yards, about as close as we could get him. Cyril was hunting with pot roast, and they called one in, came in behind them, got in pretty close. I think he was 10 or 15 yards at one point, but they were set up against some brush, some big trees, and he stayed on the other side of that from them the entire time, never would come around for a clear shot. And
so they weren't hunting in a blind then, Michael?
No,
yeah.
not that morning.
It's one of the beauties of a blind, isn't it?
Blinds are kind of double-edged swords. They can hide a lot of movement, but they can keep you from getting on a bird, too, if he comes in from the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And we do both. We do a lot of both. We hunt out of the blind quite a bit. probably going to be hunting out of a blind in the morning the way they talk. It's going to be
a wet one
in the morning. So, but they've not been gobbling at all on the ground up here. I don't know if it's just the spots that we're hunting or if it's the whole area. We finally got some decent gobbling on roost this morning. Heard 5 or 6 different birds, and they hit the ground and never made another sound. We were out until about 10:30, and saw some hens, saw several hens out milling around, but no gobblers, and like I say, couldn't get one to answer us. As soon as they hit the ground, they just shut up. Pot roaster set up, he had 3 within 100 yards of him.
Oh, wow.
Had him on all sides of him, and 2 of them flew down with hens. He could hear the hens with them, and they went the opposite direction. And one of them flew down right behind him, and he don't know where he went. He just disappeared and got quiet.
It sounds like
never did see him.
Sounds like they're practicing social distancing, Mike.
They must be. They must be, because they're sure not getting close enough to catch anything from us.
Well, it's amazing how much things can change from youth season to the beginning of our regular season, isn't it?
It is. Man, it's green.
It is. It's greener than normal, isn't it?
Yeah, we're 5 days into season, and the woods are thick. It's just green. I mean, it looks like the second, third week of season normally.
Yeah, I've been saying the same thing down here. It looks much the same, Michael. It is super thick. What's on the grill today, buddy?
Well, we got a wild turkey po' boy. We talked about that crispy Cajun fried turkey over some fried biscuits last week or the week before. And the cooking method on this one is pretty much the same. We mix a little cornstarch into our seasoned flour, and it makes it a little crispier. And po' boys have been around since the 1800s, early 1900s, down in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
They first started out, they called them an oyster loaf. Everybody down there had fried oysters back when the oysters were cheap, and the workers around town could buy oyster loaf for next to nothing, and they would put them on bread to make them easier to eat. And a couple of guys opened a sandwich shop, and the trolley and train workers went on strike down there, and I think it was in 1925 or so. And they wanted to support them, so they would give them a free sandwich. Every time they'd see one coming toward them, they'd yell out to the kitchen, "Here comes another po' boy." And the name stuck, and the sandwich has been that ever since. You see it usually with a lot of seafood, particularly fried seafood, shrimp, oysters, clams, fish even. We do them with catfish a lot up here. But you can do them with fried turkey, too. And you just cut that turkey up into bite-sized pieces and deep fried in seasoned flour to where it's nice and crispy and still juicy inside. On our sandwich, we took a nice French roll, sliced it in half, put some tomato on it, some crisp fresh lettuce, piled that turkey on pretty high, and then we did a drizzle of sriracha ranch or a little bit of spice on top, and some sweet heat barbecue sauce from Traeger, and drizzled a little bit of both of those over the top of it. It makes a really good sandwich.
Sold, brother. Sold.
Yeah, I love the sriracha, man.
Oh, it always adds to it. My youngest, man, Blake, he can't eat anything that doesn't have hot sauce or sriracha on it. Hey, I was going to say, before COVID-19, Louisiana's about the only place you could pull up, get a po' boy and a daiquiri in the to-go window, but now we're doing that everywhere.
Just about everywhere, yeah. All my restaurant friends up here, they're putting together the family packages and the meal deals.
Yep.
And, they'll sell you a quart of a mixed cocktail with it. I kind of question them. They all say that the quart cocktail serves 6. And
you beg to differ.
I'm not sure on that.
That's great. Well, are the oysters, Michael, sounds like oysters might kind of fit into that category like lobster used to. It used to be kind of a throwaway something. I know at one point they fed prisoners on Alcatraz lobster. It wasn't viewed as being a delicacy like it is today. Is oysters and shellfish kind of fall in that category somewhat?
Same exact deal.
Yeah.
Used to that was the working man. The poor would eat that, and then eventually everybody kind of caught on to just how good they were. everybody started eating them. But it started out as just a cheap meal. So.
And then now we got that TV show where they're out there fighting over them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny how things come full circle like that. You know, a lot of beef cuts like London broil and stuff aren't really sought after, but in my opinion, cooked right, that's one of the better pieces of beef that you can get, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, butchers they couldn't give away brisket or flank steak, either one.
Yeah.
Most of that would end up getting ground in the burger because they couldn't sell it. And now it's both of them have become one of the more expensive cuts of meat on the cow, on the steer. So our tastes change over time, and chicken wings same way. Chicken wings used to be dirt cheap, and then people figured out just how good they really were, and now they're as expensive as the whole chicken. So
I wonder if catch without the crabs.
I wonder if it falls into that category, Michael, of, folks a lot of times want what they can't have, right? And as soon as things become kind of hard to come by, they suddenly are pretty sought after.
Yeah, like
toilet paper. That's not the direction I thought you were going to go into, but I concur.
Oh, my God, that's great.
I was just in the grocery, and a very big grocery, one of the bigger groceries up here, and I walked past the toilet paper aisle, and it was completely empty still.
You got to be kidding me. Still?
The smaller stores, they all seem to be pretty well stocked back up, but these big groceries, I guess, where everybody's going to them, it was still completely empty, but I was just surprised when I walked by and saw that.
Still just boggles my mind, the toilet paper thing. I'm still not connected the dots on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, man, listen, it's always fun, and everybody's healthy, it sounds like, which is good. I know you guys had that one fella pass away. Did they ever figure out maybe that he had the COVID? Or?
I don't know. It was way back before it should have been.
Yeah.
But, they're saying now that it was maybe around a little bit before they thought it was. So,
yeah, they are saying that. I think, the first COVID-19 related death, I think they've actually gone back weeks and weeks and predated that, yeah.
It's not, as far as American soil goes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, early February now they're saying.
Yeah.
Which means it was probably around in late January. So
unbelievable. Well, we got the news today, Michael, before I let you go. I saw it. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife said that hunting's still on, so I didn't know that it was a chance of it being off. Did you?
I don't think it ever was. I think they probably, and Michael, you might know better than I, but I'd say they probably took a good hard look at out-of-state hunters and how to manage that. But as far as residents, right? Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. But as far as resident hunters, I don't think that was ever in question.
Well, good. That's good.
No, that would have been a tough sale.
It would have.
Yeah.
You talking about civil unrest?
Yeah, people can go without toilet paper, but not without turkey hunting.
Yeah. Speak for yourself, Johnny. I need the medicated kind.
Well, you can get natural toilet paper while you're out turkey hunting if you know the right trees to look for.
Pine cones don't work out great.
No, that's not a great alternative.
They're kind of like John Wayne toilet paper, rough, tough,
but worse.
Hey, Pendley, always a pleasure, man. Stay safe up there, and we'll talk to you next week. Can't wait. I love these dishes you're getting coming out with, though, man. This po' boy looks insanely good.
Thanks, guys.
You got it, man.
Thanks,
Talk
Michael.
to you next week. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center fishing segment, and we have Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center John Newton going to be joining us right here on Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, ESPN 102.7.
If your business needs to cool, chill, or freeze, or warm, heat, or cook, you know you can't afford to disappoint. That's why you call BG Refrigeration, because BG Refrigeration never disappoints. They satisfy any heating or cooling need your business may have. Factories, restaurants, malls, plants, big industrial warehouses, doesn't matter. BG Refrigeration is who you call. Commercial heating and ducts, AC maintenance and replacement, commercial refrigeration, restaurant equipment, cold storage warehouses. BG Refrigeration ensures your heating and cooling needs are met so your business doesn't suffer. Walk-in freezers, exhaust systems, systems, pizza ovens, ice makers, whatever heats or cools. If it's restaurant related, BG Refrigeration is, by far, the best company in South Central Kentucky to service them. In fact, there are few companies that can or will even try to do what BG Refrigeration does every day. They're the company that's called in for the big jobs that require more experience, that need to be done right the first time. Why would you trust your business's commercial heating and cooling needs to anyone else? Turn to the experts. Call BG Refrigeration at 270-782-5391, where your comfort is their concern.
Although hunting to most of us is much more than just harvesting animals, why not better your deer herd's health with Big & J Long Range Attractant? Big & J is highly digestible, high in protein, and isn't full of preservatives. With Big & J Long Range Attractants, you're not only exploiting one of the few weaknesses whitetails have, their stomachs, but you're maximizing antler growth, improving overall herd health, and pulling deer from your neighbor's property. So whether your goals are to fill the freezer, kill mature bucks, or both, Big & J Long Range Attractants will stack the odds in your favor, all the while making your deer herd bigger and healthier.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians hummed through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
Tired of overbooked municipal courses? Waiting for the group in front of you while the group behind you launches ballistics? Well, Willow Oaks Golf Club in Glasgow, Kentucky is ready to entertain you and your family all year long. This is an affordable private club with all the amenities. 18 majestic golf holes with pristine greens and fairways, large swimming pool with separate children's pool, tennis courts, driving range, fitness center. Then unwind in the private oak bar or enjoy amazing food choices perfect for weddings or corporate events. This will be your home away from home. Visit WillowOaksGolf.com or better yet, set up a tour and discover the best kept secret in South Central Kentucky.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. Physicians and public health professionals are trying to protect us because our healthcare system would be overwhelmed if too many people get seriously ill. We have to take their advice seriously. So, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
Every morning at the mine you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. And everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It's time to go fishing with Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, 415 Commerce Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky, on SOKY's Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Renegade Marine Outdoor Center up there in Litchfield, Kentucky. RenegadeMarine.net. We got him on the line, Big John. And so I got two Big Johns right now on the line. I got John in the studio and Big John Newton. What's up, man?
What's going on, Brian? How y'all doing today?
Dude, we're just happy to be upright and a pretty day down here in Bowling Green. What's it look like up there in Litchfield, Kentucky?
Yeah, right now it looks like the rain is getting ready to move in here the next little bit. We went from sunshiny to cloudy all in about a 45-minute time span.
Yeah, welcome to Kentucky. Man, what I was wanting to ask you, I mean, I know you got the service department and all that stuff going on, but as far as outside sales, I mean, how are you guys doing business right now? Because it seems like it changes week to week, John. It's hard to keep up with, ain't it?
It is. Right now, if somebody needs a boat, technically, I'm really the only salesperson there right now. So if they call in and they say, hey, we want to come look at a boat, I'll say, come through the front gate, call the number, say, hey, John, I'm here. I'll come outside. I'll uncover whatever boat you want to look at. Do the 6-foot social distancing, let them get up on the boats, look around at the boats, and if that's a boat that they want, we'll do the paperwork right there in the parking lot.
Nice.
So you just tell them to look for the guy named John that stands 6'5", 245.
Broad shouldered.
Well,
I'm about 245, but I don't stand 6'5", that's for sure.
Man, I got that same problem.
I look like a rhombus. You remember a rhombus? Remember that shape? You don't hear that much. John, what about fishing? I mean, guys are trying to get out, and hopefully you're getting to get out a little. I know No Land's decent right now, but what about Rough River? Where you been? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, last 3 weeks prior to this 2-week period, I've been going to Rough. Because, of course, No Land had been high. Done fairly well at Rough. We had several good days at Rough River, and it just seemed like the fish got smaller. So No Land got back down. I've been to No Land 2 times, last Sunday and this past Sunday. Called my old fishing partner up, Scotty Robbins. I said, Scotty, I'm going to No Land. You want to go? And he said, yeah, I want to go. I said, well, I got on some pretty good fish last week. I said, let's go try them again this week. Well, you know how fishing goes. We get out there, and I'm saying, well, I caught them on this crankbait last week, and I'm throwing this crankbait. Caught 2 little old fish. I looked at Scott. I said, well, let's go with what we know. So we pulled out the old homemade jigs and jig rods, and we went to fishing. We fished up around the dam, had a 15.5-pound bag, drove down to the other end of the lake, down by Wax, had a 14-pound bag, and 3 more keepers. And between the 2 of us, we ended up managing 45 fish that day.
Wow.
So, I mean, the fishing is excellent. Now, I'm hearing different stories from different guys, but the techniques that I do, the techniques that I use, the fish that I'm catching, they're done spawning. I mean, the tails are starting to heal. Fish are skinny. I had one that had a 7-pound head on it. On the hand scales, it only weighed 5 1/4. So,
Stickfish.
It's that time of the year. I mean, you can catch them about right now at No Land, Rough River 2. You can catch them about any way you want. You can catch them jigging. You can catch them jerk baiting. You can catch them throwing an A-rig. You can catch them throwing a big swim bait. You can catch them throwing a small crankbait, big crankbait, shaky head. I mean, it's a Russian roulette of what you want to throw.
Oh, that's great.
So if you got confidence in a bait, you can go to No Land, and I guarantee you're going to catch a limit of quality fish right now. We're going to make plans for this weekend. I believe we're going to Green River. Called a buddy of mine down there, Mr. Ted Milby. Talked with him. He's a local that lives on the lake. And, we talk about Mr. Matt Robertson being Mr. Onum.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Ted Milby is Mr. Onum on Green River Lake.
Oh, gotcha.
If there's a fish to be caught on Green River Lake, Ted Milby's done caught it, named it, and nicknamed it.
Well, we'd like to get him on the show here in the future on the fishing segment. It'd be great.
He's an excellent fisherman. Met Ted several years ago. Him and his wife Donna fished my co-ed division, and Ted's a great guy. He's a great fisherman. But when it comes to Green River Lake and what the fish are doing there, he knows what they're doing. We actually did the co-ed classic last year for the USA Bassin with the husband and wife division down there on Green River. He pretty much walked away with that thing for 2 days total. He had, I think it was a little over 36 pounds for 2 days.
That home game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the home game. And every spot I'd run to and I'd want to fish, and I knew there would be fish there, look up, well, there's Mr. Milby sitting there in that nitro boat he purchased from Renegade Marine.
Hey.
He just waved at me as I went by.
Speaking of boats from Renegade Marine, I was in Z20 down at Del Hollow a couple weeks ago. Listen, man, I don't know that I've ever rode anything that smooth. My dad had a Ranger back in the day, 330V, and I always thought that was the smoothest riding boat I'd ever been in. But that Z20, man, it's like riding in a Cadillac, dude.
Oh, it is, man. I mean, back in the day, they had the 800 series nitros and the center-driven nitros. Nitros come a long way.
Yeah, good boat.
In just the time period that they've been building. When they switched over and went to the Z9s, and I run Z9s for years, And I never thought in the back of my head, hey, these guys, this is the boat. And then they come out with the new Z series with the Z21s, the Z20s, the Z19s, and the Z18s, and the Z17s. But, man, Nitro, Tracker Marine, White River has really stepped up their game on that Nitro boat. I mean, it is a dominant boat to be reckoned with. I mean, if you're looking for a boat and you don't want to break the bank, that is the boat to look at. But, still out there, you've still got Triton boats. You've still got the Ranger boats. Triton is a very fast boat, very good riding boat. Ranger, of course, Ranger's Ranger. Ranger has been the Cadillac of Cadillacs since 1968. But, if you're wanting to compete with a Ranger class 521C at about $75,000 with what they call their cup package, which is 2 power poles, a 12, a 9. I deck mine out with an Ultrex trolling motor, custom cover. You're around that $75,000 mark. But you turn around and you take that Nitro Z21 Pro package, which comes with 2 10-foot talons, comes with some Solixes, comes with a linked Ultrex trolling motor where everything's linked together, and you're in that $63,000 range. So I mean, there's a price point for everybody.
John, listen, we appreciate you, man, and you're right. There is a price point, but the better part of doing business up there, not only you guys do you right on the pricing, you're also available. You're also there after the sale, and that's what you don't get a lot of times in some of these big chain stores and stuff. You don't have that relationship, that close knit relationship where you can call Sherbert up, call you up, ask a question, and those boats that you're talking about, they may be a decent little investment up front, but if you don't want to buy another boat, you could probably use that the rest of your life. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, and we want to use you guys the rest of your lives as our sponsor. We love having you, and we've set the date, September 26th, going to be our fishing for mentors this year that you guys put on for us, and we appreciate that. And I hated having to move it, but we had no choice, man, and we're just having to kind of make our lives work around this thing, and you guys are doing a great job at Renegade working around this, and we appreciate you and Sherbert, man. Thank you so much.
Brian, we really appreciate doing the sponsorship with you all. I mean, it's not only, being able to get on the radio every couple of weeks, letting everybody know what's going on at Renegade, giving a little fishing report.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the things is giving back to the community.
Yep.
And the kids are, and a lot of people don't realize this. It's been said and done, but, kids are our future.
Oh, yeah.
But, the future of sitting in front of video games and talking on cell phones, that's not the future.
No.
The future is the way we were brought up.
Yep.
We were brought up to go out and fish. We were brought up to go out and dig up our worms to go catch bluegills.
Yep.
We were taught to be outside. You played outside during the day. There was no such thing as cell phones.
That's right.
There was no such things as all these video games and stuff that these kids have now. I can remember back when I was a kid and I got my first Sony PlayStation. I thought that was the biggest thing. And, really all they had back then was Tecmo Bowl on there.
Yeah, I had Nintendo.
And, so...
But it wasn't something that kept you. It wasn't something that kept you on all the time. You were ready to get off after a while. And usually somebody got a black eye or somebody got mad at each other, and we went outside and fought it out. Man, way to preach it. Appreciate you, man. John Newton. Well, man, a couple weeks we'll get you back in here, see what's going on. John, thank you. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors with the Big and J Long Range Attractant Swagger Bipod hunting segment. Anthony Verga, can't wait. Realtree Pro staff for ESPN 102.7.
Gary Force Paint and Body Shop stands with Southern Kentucky in this pandemic because they know if you've ever driven in Bowling Green, you can survive anything. A natural name change? I just don't see a one there. It's just I-6, an entire Fountain Square renovation. Oh, there's a spot. Park over there. And, of course, the roundabout.
Hey, I think I finally got this whole roundabout thing down.
We made it through that, and we'll make it through this. Together. Gary Force Paint and Body Shop. Bowling Green's ICAR Gold Certified Body Shop that works with all major insurance. Behind the post office on Vanderbilt Drive.
In stores now, Pabst Grippo's Beef Jerky. We have taken the great Pabst Beef Jerky and married it with the iconic Grippo's Barbecue Seasoning. This is a marriage made in beef jerky heaven. The thin cut of Pabst Beef Jerky is dusted to perfection with Grippo's Seasoning. Once you try it, you will know no other beef jerky compares. So the next time you're headed on a road trip to the lake or your favorite golf course, be sure to have Pabst Beef Jerky fueling your outdoor lifestyle. PabstJerky.com. Ask for us at your local store.
Not all spray-in is created equal. For example, spray-in honey. Why are all these bees following me? Or maybe spray-in tanning.
Hey, you missed a spot there on your face. Oh, that's bad.
See Line X Bowling Green for spray-in bed liners and Line X truck gear. It's the next level of complete tough gear for your truck. B&W gooseneck hitches, toolboxes, step bars, and WeatherTech doormats. Gift cards now available. Easy, affordable, and rugged. Line X. Check out more at linexandbowlinggreen.com.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians hummed through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. The anxiety can be overwhelming. If you're feeling extra worried, you're not alone. You can still contact a mental health professional. They're ready to help you get through this. And remember, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
I am Southern Kentucky Great Outdoors. I am your spirit of the wild, my brother. God bless America. God bless Kentucky. God bless working hard, playing hard American families in the asset column. We are blood brothers.
Welcome back. Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors right here on ESPN 102.7. Got a treat here on the Big and J Long Range Attractant Swagger Bipod hunting segment today. The man's name is Anthony Verga. He's a Realtree pro, and he's done a lot. I mean, from being a producer and a TV guy, you can check him out on All Things Hunting TV on the Sportsman's Channel. He's been a 6-time Grand National qualifier, John Kirby, 4-time New Jersey Open champion, Tri-County Longbeard, Tri-State champion back in 15, Massachusetts Owl Hooting champion. That sounds pretty awesome.
You wrote down about 1/10 of his calling accolades because I looked at his bio and I was going to write some down. I got tired of writing down accomplishments.
You know, that's pretty cool. Without further ado, let's get him in here. Mr. Anthony Verga, Realtree Outdoors. Welcome on the Line X hotline to SOKY's Outdoors, brother. Thanks for being here with us.
Hey, anytime, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Hope everyone's doing well and, getting through this COVID stuff and, trying to live life the best we can.
Well, we've been talking a little turkey. I know we're going to get to that, you and John. But first, I think John and Kirby and I would love to know, Anthony, a little bit about, you grew up, upstate New Jersey there, I guess, in rural New Jersey, and you got into hunting, and we would kind of like to know where the passion came from. I mean, did you have somebody, uncle, grandpa, somebody like that, or did you just kind of come to it, gravitate to it on your own?
No, so, I mean, just really like anybody, really. We grew up with a hunting family. We were, pretty in depth with it. It never stopped for us. Being even at a young age, with food plots and land management and learning from my Uncle Keith and my father, my one Uncle Denny, and a couple of cousins and stuff like that. So we've always been around it. They always did their best to try to incorporate, the outdoors with us, the entire year. But it didn't really, at a really young age, I was kind of thankful that my dad was always a big reader. So he had elk hunting books, mule deer hunting books, and, all sorts of stuff. And even, like I said, at a really young age, at 10, I wanted to know, not just getting in a tree stand and hunting. I wanted to know about the wildlife, about the white-tailed deer, the biology about it. I wanted to know why I was doing something, if that makes any sense. But
makes total sense.
Being informative, and it's not something that I think the hunting society is losing today, but I think it's, with some of the programs like QDMA offers, Deer Steward, and NWTF has great information on their sites. But it's I was always try to be informative the best I can be, and that was started at a young age.
Yeah, I grew up much the same, Anthony. What about the competition calling, and specifically turkey competition calling? What kind of got you into that route?
What got me into that was I have my uncle up here. He has a company called Uncle Dickie's Yelpers. He's a little small mom and pop type kind of shop. And
sure.
He's an award-winning call builder, and I bet you maybe I was 6 or 7 years old. We'd head to their house, and he'd have me help him cut diaphragm calls. And I started yelping on him, and I killed my first turkey at 10 with him. And then ever since that day, it's been like number one to me in hunting. I mean, I wanted to not just obviously kill as many turkeys as I could, but I wanted to get out there. I mean, it's a short season. It's up here. It's just started on Monday, and it ends the last week of May. So, I wanted to be out in the woods as much as I could for turkeys. It fascinated me. It just fascinated me. And the call building alone, I mean, I was building calls by myself at 11, 12 years old, and actually using them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And being young and being a youngster and having, a turkey come to a call you just built, I mean, that just continued to spark that fire.
Absolutely. That's one of the big draws for turkey hunting, obviously, and duck hunting the same way. I think Will Primos kind of said it best, speaking that language, and there's just something about getting out there and truly speaking that language, not just getting out in the turkey woods and making turkey sounds, but truly speaking that language and know what you're saying and when to say it. There's something about that that's pretty powerful, isn't it?
It is. And you're talking, one of the big-time guys, Will Primos. We all grew up on that.
Yeah.
And it's, he's probably one of the best advocates to have, and we still have advocates for the youth now.
Sure.
But, you hit it right on the head there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Big fan of Will Primos, have been since I was a kid. Now, growing up in Jersey, you guys do things, well, every state does things a little differently, but I noticed that you all seem to have several splits during your turkey season. Is that right? You have period A, B, C, and so on?
Yeah, that's correct. It's really, I mean, not that I don't agree with it. It's really hard to put it this way. Like South Jersey's numbers of turkeys are unbelievable. They have really good numbers. Up north where I'm at, the numbers have been down. And I think statistically, I think a lot of wildlife, as far as even whitetails and turkey, numbers have been dropping a little bit here and there.
Right.
But obviously, Mother Nature makes a comeback and stuff like that. But they had the segments opened up, but there's some segments in South Jersey that sell out like within a day. Because it's just the population's so great and the hunting's so great down there. But it makes it a little difficult. If it were me, I'd like to just maybe have somebody have 3 birds. It's unlimited. You can shoot as many turkeys as whatever permits you have.
Really? Wow.
It's crazy. It really is. But I'd like to see it change. But I don't think I have the power. But have maybe 3 birds per man, and maybe break it into 3 sections instead of, I think there's like 30 zones.
Wow.
But it's zone specific, like you said, and it's day specific, zone specific, and you don't got a tag, you don't hunt.
Well, yeah, that's definitely different. Like I said, a lot of states do things differently, and that's all well and good. I definitely was not familiar with how New Jersey did things as far as spring turkey hunting. It struck me as odd a little bit. Why the splits, would you say, Anthony? What's the reason for that? Is that to rest these birds, not to pressure them and overwhelm them too much, or too much stress? What is it?
It might be, and I think a lot of it goes to population density of hunters. Especially up here, there's a lot of hunters up here. Per square mile. I don't know the exact statistic, but I know we have quite a few. Along with I think Pennsylvania is one of the number one hunters per square mile. But
yeah,
that might be a reason why too, and letting them obviously having some time to breed successfully. That might be an effect too. Actually, I should ask on that. I'm pretty good friends with a couple of biologists up here, and never really asked that reason.
Sure.
Something like I could definitely look into.
Let me ask you a question here, Anthony. I always like to ask guys that are into the competition calling, whether it be duck hunting or turkey hunting. But But so often I think, and especially new hunters maybe kind of fall into this trap more than your seasoned guys. But so often guys get so caught up in getting the best gear or perfecting that turkey call so much they kind of lose sight of maybe some other basics in turkey hunting. Patience and effort and determination. That's killed a lot of birds, right? What are some things that you would tell guys that maybe are just trying to sound like a competition caller in the woods, or they're just worried about gear? What are some of those tips that you would give them?
You know what? We just talked about this today. A good friend of mine. He's going to be probably killing his 500th turkey. I think next year he'll probably hit that spot.
Wow, that's crazy.
He'll be 62. He's a really good friend of mine, and we just literally talked about this morning in the woods.
Cool.
He's not the best caller. He is not the best caller. He'll tell you first.
And you don't have to be, do you, Anthony?
You don't have to be. And I tell people all the time, and I know it's a kind of a controversial topic on social media platforms as far as guys saying it's all about the calling. And I mean, I don't know the percentage. I've seen guys say 70% woodsmanship, 30% calling. I'm going to probably lean towards that.
Yep.
But no, you're exactly right. It's more, and I'll tell you quickly, later in the season, I mean, I'm not really calling as much.
Right.
I use a turkey's wing fan.
Sure.
Or a wing, for a wing.
Absolutely.
And, I'll do a lot of fly downs right off the roost in the morning. I'll be using stuff like that and scratching leaves. I mean, you'd be amazed, and a lot of people would be amazed of how some of the turkeys, I know for myself, that I'm killing with very, very, very little soft calls. I mean, you don't got to get on a box call and crank on it, or any call.
Exactly.
But
woodsmanship,
like you said, that's what you have to focus on.
Yeah, you said it best, man. I know some great turkey callers that have never even thought about scratching some leaves around to make some of that natural noise, or using the wing fan, like you're talking about, like a fly down noise. Yeah. I think a lot of that's lost, and again, that's why I like to ask guys that are into the competition calling, because usually they have that same feedback you do. Sounding great is great, but the woodsmanship and all that is important as well.
It is. It's 100% important. I mean, that's exactly it.
And as far as calling too, again, it's great to sound great, but I think knowing when to call, your cadences and stuff like that, I think those are often overlooked as well.
They are definitely overlooked. I'll be honest, a lot of times, later in the season, you get a little bit complacent. I mean, obviously this year's different, but we travel. I'm turkey hunting usually mid-March to end of May, and you get a little complacent, at the end of the season, and you're getting tired, and not that you're getting, well, I guess, you're getting tired and stuff like that, but I tend to call too much. I'll be the first thing, I'll be honest. I mean, sometimes I'll watch a bird, and he'll be on a limb, and I'll call to him on the limb, which sometimes I do and don't, but, I'll call too much. I mean, I'll say it, a lot of us competition guys like to hear ourselves call. I mean, that's just the truth, but trying to get around that, like you said, and then learn a little bit more woodsmanship and, other ways of having, being a successful hunter.
Yeah. Man, that's great stuff, Anthony. I would like to ask you one more question. It's a question I get a fair amount as well. But what would you tell a young hunter that asks you, Anthony, how do I get into the hunting industry?
Into hunting or into the hunting industry?
Into the hunting industry.
Okay, so I'm a part-timer for the industry. My full-time job is I work for the power company. But I'm a true part-timer. I would say the tips that were given to me years ago, and I'd say just try to network yourself, and try to learn as much as you can, and just try to put yourself around good people, and it'll eventually get fall into place. But you gotta find something that you're really good at and that you have a passion for.
Yep.
And there's a lot of options right now. A lot more options now than there was about 15, 20 years ago when I first started.
Sure.
Technology.
There's a lot of more programs out there. There's a lot of there's a film school. My good friend Tom Petrie, I learned from him years ago in filming, and I think he runs the biggest outdoor film educational school, I think, in the country. And but there's a lot of places like that. There's a lot more out there now than I think there was in the past. More driven around having careers in the hunting industry.
Yeah.
So it's a great industry. You might obviously there's some negativity, always negativity with certain things, but I met a lot of great people. I mean, I'm telling you, some of my best friends.
Likewise,
the Yankees from up in New Jersey. I got some really good friends in Louisiana, and Kyle and Cole and the guys on the TV show. They're like family. And I met a lot of great people. People. Good memories, and had a lot of opportunities. Very thankful.
Hopefully you're not just tuning in, folks, but you're listening to Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors on 102.7. We have Anthony Verga, Realtree Pro Staffer. Real quick, Anthony, before we let you go, man, first of all, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I've enjoyed listening to you and John Kirby there, like-minded guys. And we want to thank Big and J Long Range Attractants and Swagger Bipods for being our hunting segment sponsors. But one last question I wanted, and you touched on it, you alluded to it there for a second. And John, he's into filming, and he's got a really good camera, and he's been doing that for a couple years now. And how much passion do you have? Which one have you got to where you just as much enjoy filming somebody as hunting? Or I mean, how much does that play a part? Because I know you do it a lot.
I actually I got kind of away from the filming part because I had some of my buddies actually lend a hand filming me.
There you go.
I love being. I don't have to shoot something in order to have a good hunt. I mean, being able to watch it unfold and be able to create and capture a memory with the camera. I mean, that's just a plus. But I think it's a great thing being able to run the camera too. I really do enjoy that. It's a different view. It really is.
Man, I tell you what, we've really enjoyed it, buddy. Can we get you on maybe after the season here and follow up with you and see how it all went?
Anytime. It's been a blast. I really appreciate you guys reaching out, and it's been great. I appreciate it. Anytime.
Man, thank you so much, Anthony. We'll definitely be hollering at you, buddy, and good luck the rest of your season, man.
You too, guys.
Been a pleasure, Anthony.
Be healthy and be safe, and have a good one.
Amen.
Same to you, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Take care, guys.
You too, brother. Wow, that was awesome.
Great interview.
Oh, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, plethora of knowledge and just, man, I can't put my finger on it, but he sounds just like somebody. And I can't put my finger on it. An actor. I can't. I'll figure it out.
Figure it out during the break.
I'll figure it out during the break. I wish. But we're going to be coming right back. We're going to have Johnny Johns on, my buddy, John's buddy, and one of our great sponsors here on SOKY's Outdoors. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the BG Refrigeration Heating and Cooling, touching base with our sponsors segment. Coming right back. SOKY's Outdoors 102.7.
The showroom at Renegade Marine is closed, but they can still get you on the water with a smile. Shop their inventory online anytime at renegademarine.net. Find something you just can't live without? Call the sales team at 270-259-0001. Need parts or service? Renegade has you covered. Just call ahead at 270-971-4922 and get ready for top-notch curbside pickup and drop-off service. Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, just off the Western Kentucky Parkway, exit 107, Litchfield. renegademarine.net.
Do you want a barrel rest or do you want to shoot with swagger? Expand your shooting zone with Swagger, the all-terrain hunter's bipod. After more than 100 years, finally shooters have a bipod with patented, flexible, hyper-extending, telescoping legs that give you agility like never before. Get rid of those stiff legs and get the bipod with infinite maneuverability. Swagger, the bipod that moves. Shoot with confidence, shoot with Swagger. Lifetime warranty, swaggerbipod.com.
If your business needs to cool, chill, or freeze, or warm, heat, or cook, you know you can't afford to disappoint. That's why you call BG Refrigeration, because BG Refrigeration never disappoints. They satisfy any heat or cooling need your business may have. Factories, restaurants, malls, plants, big industrial warehouses, doesn't matter. BG Refrigeration is who you call. Commercial heating and ducts, AC maintenance and replacement, commercial refrigeration, restaurant equipment, cold storage warehouses. BG Refrigeration ensures your heating and cooling needs are met so your business doesn't suffer. Walk-in freezers, exhaust systems, pizza ovens, ice makers, whatever heats or cools. If it's restaurant related, BG Refrigeration is, by far, the best company in South Central Kentucky to service them. In fact, there are few companies that can or will even try to do what BG Refrigeration does every day. They're the company that's called in for the big jobs that require more experience, that need to be done right the first time. Why would you trust your business's commercial heating and cooling needs to anyone else? Turn to the experts. Call BG Refrigeration at 270-782-5391, where your comfort is their concern.
Welcome back. Southern Kentucky's great outdoors. Other than Kentucky Afield, the only outdoor show on FCC regulated airways, and we appreciate them tuning in, and we appreciate our sponsors. I got one on the Line-X hotline, Line-X Bedliners, Roger Gina over there on Louisville Road, Porter Pike. Get over there and get in touch with them. Get a bedliner in that truck. You can buy that truck at J&K Used Cars, 670 US 31W Bypass, Bowling Green, Kentucky. You can give them a call, 270-842-1854. As for Johnny, Jimmy, Robert, they'll all take care of you. You can email them at sales@jnkusedcars.net. On the Line-X hotline, Johnny Johns. What's up, big fella?
Oh, not much. How's everybody doing?
I mean, we've been having a blast. It's been a great show, and no better way to top it off with some of our favorite folks out here in the Bowling Green community. Been doing it for years and years and years. First of all, you're a listener of the show, so we appreciate you listening too, John. But I got old Kirby in here, and he ain't seen you in a while, and he's wanting to take you out and maybe see if you want to play 18 with him and a little side.
We'll stay 6 feet apart, John.
Well, we've been practicing that a little bit. Been playing a couple of 9 holes at a couple of local courses and slipping out and doing a little fishing. So it's all been good.
Man, it's great to talk. Different. Great to talk to you, Johnny. Long time no see, buddy.
It has been a while.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. Just kind of hanging out and seeing how everything's going to work out. But everything's going well.
How's things at the car lot? You all staying open, I'm sure, right?
Well, we're open per se, but that's about it. We're doing a little curbside service best we can, but mostly just watching the cars go by, waiting for things to fire back up and be ready when that happens.
Absolutely. So if somebody sees something on your lot they want, what do they just look you up and give you a ring, Johnny? And how's that work?
Well, we have to, follow the CDC guidelines.
Right.
And so we get a call and set up an appointment and, and kind of go from there. It's a little bit of a process, but hopefully it won't last much longer and we can get back to doing things like we used to.
Yeah, it seems like patience has played a big role in this thing. And, some of us are more patient than others, Johnny, and some of us are having to adjust. I'm not very patient. So it's really been, I've been like a June bug on a string for about 6 weeks here. You know how I am. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about your fishing. You been catching anything? You like crappie fish a little bit, don't you?
Well, I hadn't been able to get out on up at Berrien because it's been flooded, but I have fished the tailwaters a little bit, and before they really started letting the water come out hard, we were able to catch some white bass and a hybrid or two and even a carp or two. But it's always fun to get out, enjoy, get your mind off some of this other stuff that's wearing you out.
A lot of great memories made up there below the tailwaters, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, you get to see a lot of people, a few boats, a few kayaks, and everybody having fun and getting out and enjoying the outdoors.
I'm too old to kayak. This ultimate, I want to do it, but I know once I won't have trouble getting out of that thing, throw a hip or something. I'm just getting too old for it, John. Well, when did you get into the outdoors? 'Cause I know you're if it ain't golfing, you like to be outside, and that's one thing about you. I know you always been like that from a young age. You like to get out there.
Well, we like a lot of people growing up around here. The first experience on fishing is with grandparents. Takes you up to the tailwaters or to the family pond or a creek or a river to fish on, and that's the first memories I have of getting out. And I've never been able to do much hunting, but fishing. And then as you got older, playing golf allows you to be outside and enjoy the outdoors.
It's good for everybody, good for the soul. That's kind of our theme here, man. It has been for years, hasn't it, John?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it just soothes you. And, I think probably through this thing, a lot of people that maybe not outdoorsy type, I think they're kind of, getting out of the house. Because, you get cooped up in the house, man. You get that Stockholm syndrome.
Well, I've seen more kids out playing outside in the last 3 weeks than I have probably in the last 10 years. So.
Isn't that amazing?
Hopefully that's one of the silver linings that comes out of this.
Right.
Yep.
And like Michael Pendley said last week or the week before, he actually lost a couple of turkey hunting properties because of the some of the kids and some of the dads weren't working as much, and so it was a double-edged sword. He lost his turkey spot, but it also meant that some new people were getting introduced to the outdoors, and hopefully that's a silver lining that we can kind of pull from this. And
sure, it makes everything a little healthier. If you have new people get introduced to it, it just makes it all work a little better.
I think there's probably a lot of silver linings, that all of us can get from this, and hopefully that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, you always got to find the good and stuff, Kirby.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny, you're a cup half full guy all the time, and great storyteller, by the way. Don't you love hearing Johnny Johns tell a good story?
Absolutely. And there's nothing better than hearing a good storyteller tell stories. I mean, I could sit by a campfire and sit all night and listen.
I can still remember a picture Kirby showed me of bobcats that he killed not too far away from my grandfather's farm about 25 years ago.
Yep.
So that was the first one I'd ever seen killed in this area.
And you know what? He probably killed it with his bare hands, Kirby.
I wish I was that tough. I'm that dumb, but I'm not that tough.
That would be my fault, too. I'd be that stupid. No, that's a great story. You know what? Back in the day, we both knew little John Kirby. He never was too little. He's always big boy. But, man, we always thought he'd be on the old PGA Tour, didn't we, Johnny? Because he was something else, man.
He could certainly play.
I tell you, there's men out there that was scared of him, and he's 12 years old.
It's funny. I used to have, when I was like 12 years old, this reminded me of a funny story. I used to have, and Johnny, you probably remember a lot of these names, like Henry Corns and Dr. Combs, would call my mom and ask permission if I could play golf with them the next morning. All my friends at a young age were much older than me, and I'm super lucky to have had that. I think I learned a lot from those folks.
Henry just walked into his house. He lives behind me, and and if I turn to on the other side, I had Kevin Proctor used to.
Oh yeah, love Kevin Proctor. Rest in peace.
We've had quite a few personalities living in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you got that right, man. I tell you what, Kevin, he was like a mentor of mine. I learned a whole lot about life and golf from Kevin Proctor.
Great putter.
Well,
unbelievable putter.
One of the funnier stories I heard him tell is when he went to college up in Indiana, and he was going to help the swim team out so he could stay in shape for golf. And the swim coach at that time said, well, he said, I don't really know if we've got a spot for you because we've got Mark Spitz and 4 or 5 other All-Americans. But if you want to get out there and do a few laps, you're welcome to.
That's great. Johnny, one time Kevin and I, another story real quick, Kevin and I were playing in the state 2-man, and Kevin missed like the first 8 greens in regulation, and he was 2 or 3 under par, and the guys we were playing with were pulling their hair out. I mean, unbelievable short
game was just. I won a tournament with him in Franklin, Tennessee, one time, and it just baffled me. Just his short game was just, and he's so smooth. He was and such a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, he had some swag.
Yep. Great tennis player too.
He was a great tennis player.
So did the swim team? Did he ended up wearing those guys out or what?
I don't think he got to get in the pool much after he saw him do a couple of laps. But another guy that loved to fish, and later on when I'd see him about every afternoon, he was fishing in one of the local ponds around here. So he enjoyed doing that too.
Yeah, no, he did. You're right, he did. Johnny, man, first of all, we appreciate you sponsoring our show, and I think a lot of your family, and I think it's reciprocal, and I love your father, and just your whole family, and we appreciate you, man, so much, and it was just a delight to have you on, and you guys stay safe during this thing,
Well, we really appreciate it, all y'all do for us, and y'all have a great show, and I do need to stop and wish my oldest daughter a happy birthday, Emily John. She turns 24, so we're fixed to have a family drive-by birthday party.
Well, I know you'd probably be at Los Mariachis or one of them places if it wasn't shut down.
Well, we did find an old sombrero back here in the back, and they bring that out.
Love it.
Yeah, you have to send us a picture of that, buddy. Appreciate you, man. We'll get you on. We'll get you on here again sometime down the road. Love to get you in the studio when we can do that.
Great talking to you, Johnny.
Good to see y'all. Y'all have fun.
You too, buddy. Thanks. JK Used Cars. Get over there on the bypass. Check them out. Man, been a great show, John. I really enjoyed
Absolutely,
you and Anthony Verga with your back and forth there. That was awesome, and learned some new things. Pendley was great. John Newton's always a lot of fun. But that first time, I didn't know about the lobster thing. That's cool. I love to learn something. That's what this show's about. You never know what you're going to learn, but you're going to learn something.
It might be absolutely useless, but you'll learn something.
We'll see you next week with some more useless Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors. ESPN 102.7.